Practicing listening with stories in English is one of the most effective ways to improve your language skills. Why? Because stories help you understand context, learn new vocabulary, and get used to the natural flow of the language. Plus, they are fun and engaging. That's why I'm sharing this story with you. This story is perfect for practicing your listening skills. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. It was early Sunday morning in August. The sun was just starting to rise, but the sky was dark with rain clouds. Everything seemed normal and peaceful, but this Sunday was different. Kevin was a 15-year-old boy. He had short brown hair and blue eyes. It was 6 a.m. Maria was in the kitchen. She was making breakfast. Kevin liked riding his bicycle and playing video games. He was a quiet boy who loved his family. Kevin's parents had gone on a trip. They had left Maria in charge of the house, and Suddenly, Kevin came out of his room. He was fully dressed and ready to leave the house. This was strange. Kevin never left the house this early on a Sunday, especially not in the rain. Maria noticed him and felt confused. "Kevin, where are you going so early?" she asked, her voice full of concern. Kevin looked at her and shrugged. "I need to buy something for my bicycle," he said. Maria frowned. "In this weather? On a Sunday morning?" she asked. Kevin nodded, but did not say more. He grabbed his jacket and walked to the door. Maria watched him leave, feeling uneasy. She wondered why Kevin needed to go out so early. She decided to keep an eye on him. Something did not feel right. Kevin stepped out into the rain, and Maria stood by the window, watching him disappear into the wet morning. The day had started in an unusual way, and Maria could not shake off the feeling that something was wrong. Maria felt uneasy about Kevin's behavior. She watched him leave the house. Kevin looked nervous more than usual. Maria decided to follow him. She put on her raincoat and grabbed an umbrella. She stepped out into the rainy morning, careful not to let Kevin see her. Maria followed Kevin through the rainy streets. The rain made everything look gray and dull. She kept her distance but made sure not to lose sight of him. Kevin walked quickly, looking around as if he was afraid of something. Maria's concern grew. She had never seen Kevin like this before. Kevin walked towards the school. Maria's suspicions grew stronger. Why would Kevin go to school on a Sunday, and in such bad weather? She continued to follow him, keeping to the shadows. Kevin didn't notice her. He seemed focused on his destination. Kevin reached the school and stopped. Maria hid behind a tree and watched. She saw Kevin meet a group of boys. They were standing under a tree, trying to stay dry. The boys looked tough and mean. Maria could see Kevin talking to them. He looked scared. The boys seemed to be threatening him. Maria's heart raced. She knew something was very wrong. She watched closely, her mind racing with worry. She needed to find out what was happening to Kevin, but she also needed to stay hidden and figure out the best way to help him. The rain kept falling, and Maria stayed in her hiding place, determined to protect her brother. Maria hid behind the tree, listening carefully. The rain made it hard to hear, but she could still catch some words. The boys were threatening Kevin. "You owe us money," one boy said harshly. You have to pay by next week." Kevin looked scared. "I promise, I will bring the money next week," he said, his voice shaky. The boys moved closer to Kevin. "You better not be lying," another boy warned. "If you don't pay, you'll regret it." Maria's heart sank. She was shocked to hear the threats. She wanted to rush out and protect Kevin, but she knew she had to be careful. She decided not to intervene yet. Maria thought it was better to wait and find a safer way to help Kevin. She stayed hidden, watching until the boys walked away. Kevin turned and started walking back home. Maria followed him quietly, making sure he didn't see her. The rain kept falling and the streets were empty. Kevin walked slowly, looking sad and worried. Maria felt a deep concern for her brother. She knew she had to do something, but she needed to think it through. Once they reached home, Kevin went inside. Maria waited a few minutes before entering, so he wouldn't suspect she had followed him. Inside, Maria pretended everything was normal. She watched Kevin closely, her mind racing with plans to help him. She needed to find a way to stop the threats and keep Kevin safe. Maria was determined to solve this problem and protect her brother. Maria watched Kevin closely over the week. She noticed he was more anxious than usual. He avoided talking about his Sunday outing. He spent a lot of time alone in his room. Maria tried to get him to talk. "Kevin, are you okay?" she asked gently. But Kevin just nodded and said he was fine. Maria knew he wasn't telling the truth. Maria thought about how to help Kevin without scaring him. She didn't want to make things worse. She needed a smart plan. She remembered her friend, Officer James. He was a police officer and very good at solving problems. Maria decided to talk to him. Maybe he could help her find a way to protect Kevin. Maria called Officer James and explained the situation. "I need your advice," she said. "Kevin is being threatened by some boys, and I don't know how to help him." Officer James listened carefully. "We can come up with a plan," he said, "but we need to be careful. We don't want to scare Kevin or make the situation worse." Maria felt relieved. She trusted Officer James. Together, they could find a way to help Kevin and stop the bullies. Maria met with Officer James at a coffee shop. They talked about the problem and made a plan. "We need to scare the bullies," Officer James said, "but we also need to protect Kevin." They decided that Officer James and his team would be nearby on the next Sunday. They would catch the bullies in the act and scare them away. Maria would follow Kevin again and make sure he was safe. Maria knew she couldn't tell Kevin about the plan. He might get too scared or try to handle it on his own. She needed to keep it a secret. All week, Maria kept a close eye on Kevin. She made sure he was safe and tried to keep him calm. She talked to him more, hoping he would open up. The days passed slowly. Maria felt nervous but hopeful. She trusted Officer James and knew they had a good plan. They just had to wait for Sunday. The rain kept falling throughout the week, adding to the tension. Maria knew that the next Sunday could change everything. She was ready to protect her brother and put an end to the threats. Maria met with Officer James at the police station. She felt nervous but determined. "We need to help Kevin," she said. Officer James nodded. "We will," he replied. Together they devised a plan. We will be close by when Kevin meets the bullies, Officer James explained. We will catch them in the act and scare them away. Maria felt relieved. Thank you, James, she said. Kevin needs our help. Maria went home and found Kevin in his room. She sat down next to him. Hey, Kevin, she said softly. How are you? Kevin shrugged. I'm okay, he said, but Maria could see he was worried. She decided to prepare him without revealing the plan. Remember, Kevin, she said, if you ever need help, I'm here, and there are people who can help us too. Kevin looked at her and nodded. Thanks, Maria, he said. The week went by slowly. Maria kept a close eye on Kevin. She made sure he felt safe and tried to keep things normal at home. Finally, Sunday came. Maria felt a mix of fear and hope. She knew they had a good plan, but she also worried about Kevin. She watched as Kevin got ready to leave the house. Be careful, she said, giving him a hug. Kevin nodded and left. Maria quickly followed, keeping her distance. She knew Officer James and his team were nearby, ready to act. The rain had stopped, but the air was still cool and damp. Maria felt her heart race as she followed Kevin to the school. This time, she was ready. She had a plan, and she had help. She was determined to protect Kevin and stop the bullies once and for all. Officer James and his team were ready nearby. They were in plain clothes to avoid suspicion. Maria felt a bit more relaxed knowing they were there. Kevin walked to the school. Maria followed, staying out of sight. She saw Kevin reach the school and meet the same boys. The boys started threatening Kevin again. Where is the money? One of them demanded. Kevin looked scared. I'll bring it, I promise, he said. Suddenly, Officer James and his team appeared. Stop right there, James shouted. The bullies froze, their faces turning pale. Who are you? One boy asked, trying to act tough. Officer James showed his badge. Police. You're in big trouble, he said. The bullies looked terrified. They tried to run, but James's team stopped them. You're not going anywhere, another officer said. Kevin looked shocked and relieved. Maria stepped out of her hiding place and ran to him. Are you okay? She asked, hugging him tightly. Kevin nodded, still shaking. The officers took the bullies away. We'll deal with them, Officer James told Maria and Kevin. You two are safe now. Maria thanked Officer James. I don't know how to thank you, she said. James smiled. Just take care of each other, he replied. Kevin looked at Maria, tears in his eyes. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, he said. Maria hugged him again. It's okay, Kevin. We're safe now, she said. They walked home together, the rain starting to fall again. This time, it felt different. The danger was gone, and they were ready to face the future together. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my story. If so, you should not miss this interesting story about the adventures I had visiting London for the first time. So, click the link and watch When I Go to London. Watch this interesting story now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more helpful videos.